Of all of the goals that I started with for this Change Your Life challenge, the biggest one has definitely been trying to tackle all of my future me problems, mainly because the list of future me problems was over 100 things long. I've been keeping track of which ones I have and haven't been able to complete so far, and at the start of this week, I had about 30 done. That still leaves 70% of the list to tackle, and I'm hoping that by the end of this week, I could get to at least 60% done, maybe 70% done, kind of reverse that ratio. But to see if I actually end up doing that, we're gonna have to start at Monday morning. Good morning, happy Monday. Today for breakfast we are having painkillers because the body has been betrayed. Not only is it Tom week, or time of month, but also the stretch injury soreness is still prevalent. That meant that despite waking up at 6 o'clock, I have not done my exercise. It's now 8 a.m. But the business bun is back, so it means it's time to get things done. Not that I know what those things are, because I haven't written my list for the week, even though I said I was going to do it yesterday, but then I got distracted. It's all good. We have time, because we have the Epic Goals work along this morning, so I'm probably going to use that to get organized for the week. First, though, I do need to have breakfast, including my painkillers. I don't really have anything else at the moment, so I'm just going to make some porridge, and I also figured I'd prepare some overnight oats for later in the week. Gotta get them oats ready for later. 3 of them I'm going to prepare to completion, so like putting the wet ingredients and dry ingredients together, whereas the other ones I've just put in the cupboard here, and I will make them up to completion later in the week. I find that I can deal okay with the consistency or like texture of it after 3 days. That's fine. It used to just be 1 day. I used to have to make them up kind of like fresh every day for the next day, or at least combine the wet and dry together. But I've gotten to a point where I can be okay with 3 days left. Most excitingly though, the plastering is getting done today. It's gonna happen before the end of the quarter. I'm so pumped. Despite the fact that I am feeling like hot trash, I'm actually quite excited for this week, mainly because I'm just feeling really positive about how my morning started, which is odd given that I woke up at 6 and was like, but despite waking up at 6, getting up at 7:30, and then thinking, oh gosh, I really should do my exercise, you know, keep the streak alive type thing, I then remembered that the plasterer was coming, and I'm like, you do not have enough time to exercise and shower before they get here. So I opted to choose shower because otherwise then I'd have to wait until like midday for a shower. Not keen. But that also meant that my morning felt really slow and peaceful and nice, despite the fact that there is now a little bit of a racket with the whole plastering business, but I'd rather it get done. I still haven't written my list for the day. I've only just gotten to my desk, so I'm gonna do that now. Make sure it's in there, that the week is set up, and feeling prepared. I know what's going on, because I have only recently remembered that this is the last full week of the challenge. Now, I know you're like, Jessica, 3 months is not over at the end of this week. What are you talking about? That's because my last week of any quarter is what I call reset week, or essentially it's a time to get cool, calm, and collected for the quarter ahead. So that's, you know, refreshing my goals, doing a review or analysis of the progress that I've made, getting all of my different life areas kind of set up for success for the quarter ahead, which means I don't really consider it to be prime goal action taking time. There will probably be some stuff that I finish off in that week, but this week is the one where I want to kind of push and get those last bits done that are kind of still, you know, reasonable to get done. Some of them it's like, yeah, you probably should have worked more on that throughout the quarter, but I was working on other stuff. I'm still feeling proud of my progress, but for right now, I need to write a list. Before I do that though, I am gonna go get my water bottle, because one of the things that I think I should stop doing is talking myself out of doing things that are good for me. Because this morning I'm like, oh, I really should drink some water. But then it was like, because it was a should, my brain's like, no, you can't make me. We're gonna have Coke Zero instead. So I got a Coke Zero out of the fridge, but I'm sitting here like, oh, I really wanna have some water. Like, I want to have some water. The body wants water. Tink, let's go get the water. Don't worry, water bottle, I'm coming for you. Excellent. We have the water. Now time for a list. Tink. I have a draft of the list for the day, but I still need to set up for the rest of the week. For now though, it's time to jump into Epic Goals and get to our work along session. Always a good way to start the week. I just appreciate having this time with other people to get stuff done. Hey! Yeah, pretty good. How are you? It's not going too bad. I woke up today being all like, nope, I don't want to do anything. I am pained, but I've managed to turn that around. I got my business bun, so I know that I'm in business, so I got stuff to do. My week is looking very barren. Definitely need to address that. There we go, looking much more full now, which means it's time to get on with some tasks. The first one of which is setting up the live stream topic vote for the channel members. Essentially, for one of the live streams that we have each month, the topic of that one gets selected by the channel members. They can put forward suggestions, they vote on which one they want to see, so I'm very eager to see what they pick. If you wanted to join the team with capital T, or our channel membership, that one is linked in the description box. We'd love to have you with us. That poll is up and has started to be voted on. Progress shot. Yay! I mean, it still looks a mess, but like, we're not there yet. Now as the live stream topic voting space is up though, it is time to do last week's vlog. And I'm gonna try and do this as quickly as I can because I have another video that I wanna make today for our memberships as well. That one being my kind of like reset week planning. So, time to get to business. Business bun. There's only 2 hours, 17 minutes of footage, so we got this. Oh yes, time for lunch. I have edited almost 34 minutes, which means there's only an hour of footage left to go. But I am halfway through Friday, and I know that the majority of Saturday was the reading retreat, so that'll just be kind of like silent clips over music and stuff. Shouldn't be too bad. For now though, it is time for food. Yes, good progress, excellent. Obviously it won't be like this when it's done, it'll be painted, but still looking nice and smooth, and that's the most important part. Despite having a prepared meal in the fridge, I decided to go with 2-minute noodles. It just felt right. And I watched New Girl, which I've started again at the start of season 1. We'll see how far I get through this time. I essentially every time I like, you know, get this inkling to rewatch New Girl, I'm like, oh, I really want to finish it this time. I get to like episode 7 of season 2 and then I give up. It would be nice to actually see the whole thing through at some point. Maybe this time. We'll have to wait and see. But for now, editing. We have made it to episode 3 of New Girl and the vlog is exporting. And a mere some minutes later, we're now on episode 6 of New Girl and the vlog has been uploaded, which means I need to move on to my next task, which is filming the members only video. But before I do that, I need to plan the layout so then I can film the layout. Yeah. Task plan is coming along, but for now it is time to get some dinner. I ended up getting a Subway for dinner, mainly because although I am optimistic about getting things done and like eager to work on my projects and whatever, I'm also in one of those moods where I just want to eat food that is like reliably a certain way. Like if I order Subway, I know what I'm gonna get. If I try and make food for myself, on the other hand, then it doesn't have that kind of like consistent outcome, even if it's a food I like. Please let me know if you can understand this feeling. I feel like I'm not explaining it very well. But for now, I need to go and plan the reset week plan. Layout has been planned and it is time to film. Reset week plan is done, making me officially more pumped for it. Now I just have to actually edit the video. But that is a tomorrow me problem because it is 7:46. And now it is 8:33. I started watching the podcast episode that's supposed to be going out this week and then noted that there was some sound issues, so it just meant that something kind of got mucked up in the export. It's cool. That one's going to get resolved nice and easy. Now my wrist is killing me. Like even just holding up the phone here is actually quite sore. I might attempt to change hands. How do we do this? I apologize if this is shaky. This is my left hand and it doesn't do this very often. What I have realized is that because I haven't done my exercise today, I am at risk of losing my streak and I do not want to let that happen. Very awkward, slow movements because the wrist, as said, is just really sore. I don't know what happened. It came out of nowhere. I'm thinking maybe I like twisted it wrong or something, but it is pained. Like just trying to get my hoodie jumper over my elbows before, wasn't fun. But they're there now, so they're not moving. But I do want to keep my exercise streak, so I'm going to go downstairs, put on another episode of New Girl, and walk it out. I just won't swing my arm very much because it hurts. Also, I'm very excited about this getting painted over tomorrow because that means that it's going to be done in the assumption that tomorrow they're going to be able to do however many coats they need to. But even if it's not tomorrow, it'll still be this week, in theory. This project has been ongoing since like February, so it'll be really good to have it finished. Tom is also killing my guts, so let's make it a quick walk. I officially kept the exercise streak alive. Now it's time to take out the business bun because my hair needs to dry more than anything. Oh, that is damp. And I am going to get started on my Sisterhood of the Traveling book, the one that I'm going to be annotating. I have my annotation pen and a ruler just in case I need it, and I'm very looking forward to getting started. Annotations are going slowly but surely. I'm not too sure how much I'm supposed to annotate, so I might need to check in with my friends. But for now, it's about 10:15, and that's probably time to go to sleep, which fair, because I am tired, so... Good night. Good morning. Happy Tuesday. We are gearing up to get into work today. The business bun is back because I am serious about getting stuff done. In theory, I don't even know what I'm doing today. I think that on the cards for today, we have finishing off the members only video, checking through the podcast, maybe starting to draft some talk points for Saturday's video. I have a post that I want to put up on the posts tab on YouTube, and probably a bunch of other bits and pieces. I should probably start by writing a list. The members only video is going well. I've gone through and done all of the voiceovering for that now. I'm just going through and editing it. And I'm also trying out some talking head sections in amongst the setup sections. I think it just helps to make it feel more personable. Or something like that. That one has now been uploaded. Yay, so it's time to do another thing. Another one. And by that I mean I'm probably gonna go and watch over the podcast episode and get that one ready to upload. While I'm getting that prepped, I'm somewhat tempted to make it so that next quarter my weekly schedule is more like goal heavy at the start of the week rather than at the end of the week. Because I feel like I have a lot more energy and motivation at the start of the week, and it might be nice to apply that to goal getting as opposed to work. Not to say I don't enjoy my work, and not that my work shouldn't get good energy, Jess. I would like to bring good energy, Jess, to every area of life if possible. I just feel like it might be a nice way to start my week with that kind of like intentional goal-getting type stuff. I'm not sure how that would actually work though. I'd need to go and have a look at how it lines up with my release schedules and stuff, but just a curiosity point that I have. Where did I put the podcast? Alrighty, podcast in, just an hour and 25 minutes to go through. We obviously ran our mouth too much this time. That episode is done, checked, now exporting, which means I need to make a thumbnail, but let's go have a look at how the painting is getting on. Yes, progress shot. We love it. It's looking pretty good so far. Much better than it was the other day. I went to go and have a look at how the painting was going in the garage, and all of the lights are just kind of hanging because, you know, you need to paint around them, you don't want to paint over them. I just thought it was kind of funny. But progress, and that's what we like. Getting back to work though, I'm going to plan my October setup, and then I'm going to prep the live stream for this Thursday. I ended up doing the live stream page first because it was easier. And now, plan the October setup. The problem is it's going to be in a new journal, so I'm like, ooh, do I want to change something up? Do I want to do something different? But I can't think of anything different that I want to do right now. But I do like the idea of doing something different. Maybe I'll just plan the theme and the decorative stuff and then figure out the pages later. Okay, I couldn't help myself. I started mapping out next quarter just so I could see what's coming up and when certain goals could happen and all that kind of thing, so I can plan my October pages. I've already identified 2 potential layouts that I might add, because they would be helpful for what October is going to bring. For now though, Vogel and I are going to go on an outside walk, which we have not done for a while, and I'm kind of excited. I was just going to walk on the walking pad, but he suggested, you know, the weather's nice, might as well go outdoors. I'm a little worried because the circuit we do is hilly, and it's been a while. It's been a while since I have walked outside for a long period of time. Or like, you know, as long as it takes us to do the circuit. Like this time, hills, sun, it'll be fine. Should be good. But look at that wall. No holes, all painted. Very pleasing efforts. Not my efforts, outside of, you know, like making some calls or whatever, but it's done. Honestly, at the start of this challenge, I was so worried that we were just not gonna get the walls fixed and the shower fixed and all that, and that's gonna be a really big thing just off my mental load, which is nice. Ta-da! Walking Jess, which means no more business bun because it didn't fit in the hat. But that's okay, because the sunny hat is important. I do not want to get sunny burned. Ready to go?
Yeah.
Yay! We got back from our walk. It was very enjoyable. Sadly, Vogel did fall down, but he was okay, just a little sore. I, on the other hand, am very pleased with the fact that I was way less out of breath than I thought I was going to be. Like, thinking back to when we started doing these circuits kind of earlier in the year when I was getting into my exercise, I remember just being like, don't talk to me when we're going up the hill, or you can monologue, I'm not going to say anything because I literally cannot respond. And this time around, I could actually hold a conversation.
I miss when she couldn't respond. I don't actually.
What a cheeky mister. For now though, Director Jess is going away and we should probably start thinking about preparing dinner. Good idea. Dinner was super tasty. We ended up having bao buns and some lavender lemonade, which was very good. And now I am back in my office, and honestly, I'm feeling like just a little discombobulated. I know there's plenty of stuff that I need to do for work. Not gonna do that right now, but I think that writing myself a list of all of those tasks so that I can, pick and choose and whatever when it actually comes to work time, that might be good. I've already started writing my task list for tomorrow because I was already starting to feel weirdly anxious about the stuff I had to get done then. So I think that just having a list of everything that needs to happen before the end of next week would be a good idea. That one I'm just putting in a micro collection in my journal. I like to put these micro collections in amongst my daily logs just so that then they're all in the same place. It doesn't need to be a big kerfuffle like setting up its own separate page or anything like that, but having all of those tasks collected together I think is going to be very helpful for my current state of mind. Just feeling like a little stressy for some reason. Now as that's written in though, I want to go and have a look at my future me problems list and see if there's anything I can do this evening. Anything fun. Not so fun, but definitely something that's easy is turning off Copilot. Or at least I think it's going to be easy because there's this button and I'm just going to press it. I can't believe it was that easy. This has been on my list of things to do for an upsettingly long amount of time, but it's done now. Yay! One more thing we can add to the tally. Something that we can actually just get rid of is adding options to the registry because the wedding's done. So I'm just going to cross that off as if we did it because we probably did do it at some point. And another item added to the tally. I'm mainly keeping track of the tally because I had 100 items on the list, so it makes doing the percentages a lot easier if I don't have to go through and count up all of the little crossed out tasks. And I've actually also just realized that some of these have either been done or become obsolete. That adds another 3 items. Moving on to another one though, I think we're going to go with new channel badges and new channel emojis because that would be kind of fun. Notably something I've meant to do for a while, but these are membership perks. So members who, members of the channel, they get access to custom emojis, they get access to this little like icon or badge beside their name to show how long they've been a member, and we only have 3 at the moment. I would like there to be at least 5. I think that would be cute. There they are. They're looking so cute. I also went and added a new Discord server icon to match that one. And I went and uploaded that as an emoji to the channel, so that is 3 things to check off. The last one I think I'll do today is fixing the B6 template. Mainly because it literally just requires me to delete this one tab, so not very hard. That one is done. And we can add another one to the tally. But now I'm literally 1 task off getting to 40, which would be 40% of the way through. So I'm just gonna do another one. I made a list of TV shows that Bogle and I want to watch together. So far it's only 4 shows long. We should probably add some more. If you have any recommendations, you let me know. But that brings our total to 40 things done. Huzzah! That means today that 2 things got checked off the priorities list. For now though, it is time to go and do some reading because the Sisterhood of the Traveling Journal isn't going to annotate itself. And also I'm enjoying the book. I just love that I get to sit here and admire the fact that there aren't holes in my wall anymore. Beautiful and smooth looking. I know it doesn't make for very interesting footage, but it makes me very happy. I have now made it to chapter 7, so progress is happening. It is slow though, because when you're annotating, that obviously takes extra time. So like, if I wasn't doing that, maybe I'd be on chapter 12 or something. But anyway, for now, it's time to go to sleep. Good night. Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Look at my wall. Again, I know it's not very exciting, but I'm excited. As was the same for both yesterday and the day before, the body has woken up before 7 a.m, like considerably, and I'm still in bed at 7:30. But that's okay, because I was doing stuff. I don't know, I just don't feel bad about the fact that I was just chilling on my phone and having a relaxing ease into the day type deal. On the cards for today though, I do need to set up my October plan with me stuff. So I actually need to finish planning the setup and then do the setup, like plan it and then film it. And then I also wrote myself that list of other work tasks that need to be done across the next 2 weeks, so I'll probably just have a look and see what I've got in there. I need to select a project for Midweek Mafia Hangout because that's happening this week at Monica's house. And at this stage I'm thinking it'll probably just be getting the rest of my current journal, set up for Reset Week. I've already made the Reset Week plan, but I don't have the Reset Week weekly dashboard or any of the daily logging spaces, and having those set up and decorated and such will just make Reset Week smoother. I think I'm gonna put my exercise off until the afternoon because I have actually enjoyed taking it easy, like that easy slip into the morning. And if the weather gets nicer later, maybe I'll do another walk outside because that was a bit of fun, even though it won't be with Vogel because he has to go to work today. I mean, he's always going to work, but he's going to go to work in the office rather than work from home. Yeah. Not too sure if we're actually going to be able to do that outdoor walk, but I don't know, I can dream, Harold. It might happen. But I have now picked my October setup theme. I thought this tape was really cute, so I'm going to use this. And now I just need to go and figure out all the other elements. That shouldn't take too long. It's 9:20. Let's see if I can get the other elements selected by 10. 10:02 and I'm pretty much done, but I'm also making the headers for Vogel's journal as well. That's why I'm taking just a little bit longer. I want to fill up some extra space on the page because I like to use all of the sticker paper where possible. I get very much into that mindset of like, oh my god, this paper is precious, we can't waste any of it. Especially with sticker paper. Like regular cartridge paper, not so much. Sticker paper though, that's expensive. Or at least more expensive than cartridge paper. I'm cutting out my headers and starting to prepare the layouts. But another very important planning stage is figuring out what routines I'm going to want to track for October, because then I can figure out how much space I need to leave on my layouts for that. I don't usually fully document the getting ready to film kind of process, so it's really kind of highlighting to me how much pre-work there is before pen gets put to paper. Figure out the theme, figure out the decorative elements, plan your headers, print your headers, cut your headers, figure out the number of routines you're going to track. All of this stuff. We are making progress. It is looking cute, but we still have half a setup to go. But it's lunchtime, so time for food. Did I get DoorDash? Yes. Do I regret it? Kinda. It was tasty. It was not aligned with my health goals. But I keep having this problem where I tell myself that. Okay, I say like, ooh, I feel like insert food from DoorDash here. And then, you know, rational goal-aligned Jess is like, that doesn't seem like it's aligned with the stuff that we're trying to work on. And then Rebel Brain kicks in and it's like, you're not my manager. You can't tell me what to do. And then I'm like, okay, yes, I understand that you are Rebel Brain. And I understand that, like, you know, you're having your big feelings right now. But we could still make a choice that's aligned with our health goals. But then Rebel Brain's just like, well, what's the point of even having health goals if you can't stick with them long term? And then I get the DoorDash. But I am supposed to cancel DoorDash today because my free trial runs out, like, tomorrow or something. Sigh. Anyways, lunch is over now, so it's time to get back to setting up my journal. A mere some hours later, that is done. My desk is looking a tad messy. That's okay, we can fix that. And all up, I've got almost 3 hours of footage. I just need to go trim a couple pieces out and then export the kind of like first cut of that so I can get it into the editing folder. That shouldn't take too long, but I'm going to tidy up this desk first because I don't want to work over the top of all my stuff, which I very often do. Kind of like trying to reach my keyboard over the top of all of the things that I've cut out or I've left here to use later or whatever. Not cool. Tidying up my desk more a regular ritual because I always feel so much better when my workspace is tidy and just way more workable in. For now though, that one is exporting. I've set these pieces aside to take over to the Midweek Mafia hangout. And in the interest of getting my exercise in today, I think I might take myself downstairs and get on a walking pad. I would have liked to have done an outside walk, but the weather outside isn't super great. That's okay, that's what I have a walking pad for. Walking done, featuring New Girl, which I'm very much enjoying. We're getting to a part where it's like hinted at that two characters are gonna get together and I'm just like, I love it. I love a love story. But for now, it is time to think about getting my stuff together because we need to head off to the Midweek Mafia hangout. I'm going to be working in my journal tonight, which is always nice. I was actually tempted to see if there were any future me problems I could tackle while I'm out and about. So I might also take my iPad and my tippy-tappy-typey, aka my keyboard. And I forgot that my office alarm was on. Don't worry, baby, I'm back. It's gonna be okay. I don't know how many more of my future me problems I can actually do on the go or even on my iPad, but I figured if there's any based in Notion, I could do that on my iPad while I'm out. But that means that this time around I'm taking 2 packs of journaling supplies, 2 journals, my current one and my next one, my pencil case with all of my common writing supplies and my scissors and such. We'll also be taking some decorative tape, the iPad, the tippy-tappy-typey, and of course my cheeky cola and its cola holder. And do actually also bring my tripod so that I can film little pieces of content while I'm out. Because it's much easier to have this hold my phone rather than me hold my phone and try and journal at the same time for our, like, you know, I'm out and about clips. Packed up though, ready to ship out. enjoyable time with friends. It is now 11:15. I didn't just get home or anything. I've been stuffing around on my computer just a little bit, but I'm tired and it is time to go to bed. And I'm hoping for a productive day tomorrow. I know I have the live stream and I probably want to do some video editing, but that's tomorrow me's problem. Good night. Good morning. Happy Thursday. We're up, we're ready, we're showered and clean. Haven't had exercise time yet, but I think I'm just gonna do that later in the day. The body has been getting up earlier and earlier, I swear, which means it's probably just preparing me for the daylight savings switchover thing, but that's not until next weekend. Why is the body coming in so early with this? It's fine. When the time change gets here, I'm sure that I will be more mentally prepared for it then. For right now though, we are getting breakfast sorted. I need to make sure that I make more overnight oats today because this is my last one. It's not like it's hard to make, so I'll be okay. Which also means I should probably defrost some things too. Notably this week, I have not been having my pre-prepared lunches, which I'm a little bit sad about, but I've also just been like in a weird food mood. Essentially every so often I get into these moods where I'm not necessarily like food stressed. I don't honestly feel stressed, but I feel like there must be some kind of level of underlying stress. So we're just gonna say Jess is stressed, stressy Jess. But the way that I deal with that is by defaulting to foods that I know have a very set outcome. And oftentimes that means takeout. Because even if the food isn't like the highest quality or anything, you know what you're gonna get. Whereas with home prepared meals, there's usually enough variance that in a Jess, possibly rebel brain, is just like, I don't know, the outcome of this isn't set. What if it sucks? I'd rather just go with the thing that's reliably mid than something that sucks. At least breakfast has been fine. I love my overnight oats. I think I might just do overnight oats for the rest of the year, honestly. The current combination I'm going with is the overnight oat base, fruit compote, and pineapple slices. Little tropical moment. They got rid of this for a little bit at the supermarket. I was devastated. So when it came back, I bought 3. But I only have 1 more jar left and this is how much is left. Over the past couple weeks, I've really been umming and ahhing about when I want to do my exercise because up until recently, I was very consistent with doing it first thing in the morning. Essentially like get up, go to the bathroom, get on the walking pad. That was pretty much it. Maybe a couple of other little bits and pieces in between there, but you get the idea. But having gotten up early this morning and been, you know, like out of the shower, kind of ready to face the world at 7:30, it's now 8:40. I've already had breakfast, you know, done teeth, all of that kind of stuff. And I have made 2 thumbnails for the channel for 2 upcoming videos and such. I already had the photos taken, so it was really just making it so that they looked nice. But I think that's also one of the kind of conflicting points that I have with doing my exercise in the morning because it feels like a morning disruptor. Like, I feel that very much over this year in particular, I've become more of a morning person and been a little bit more energetic and active in the morning. And maybe in part that was because of the exercise, but I feel like that would be a really good time to be productive. Like a really good time for mental work rather than physical work. Obviously, like every day this week when I've done exercise, it's not been in the morning. So I guess I am kind of already soft trialing the idea of doing exercise in the afternoon, but I don't now have a set time for it. So it's a little bit iffy. I'm thinking that for Q4 though, I might push it till the afternoon and I might make that my end of work task for each day. Like I'll put it at an actual set time and make that my kind of like, hey, work is finished. We are going to go and do this as kind of like a signal or a transition from work time to not work time. For right now though, given the fact that it's 8:40, I needed to start thinking about getting ready for our live stream today. We're going to be talking about how to brainstorm and then pick your goals for any given period, which given the fact that Q4 is coming, I think is very timely. I think that the team with the capital T or the channel members made a good pick on that one. Also, I just got myself distracted and went to check how Change Your Life Round 2 is going, and we have almost 1,000 people who have joined up to be part of it. I'm so excited. I know I have to get through this quarter first. Like, there's still 1.5 weeks left of Q3, but anyways, it's live stream time. Some people sit down to think about their goals and they're just like, I have no idea. I have no idea what I want to do. I have no idea what I want to work on. Please help. Well, that is what we're going to do in today's video. The stream is over. I think it went really well. I had a lot of people saying that they found it very helpful as we were going through. So I'm very glad and I hope that it has been useful for as many people as possible because now it is time to edit my new journal setup video, which is coming out on the channel on Saturday. So best be doing that. Ugh, foiled. You won't stop me update. You better happen quickly though, because I got stuff to do. I've spent about 3 hours of editing now and I'm up to about the 21-ish minute mark of the editing. Still got a couple more clips to go, but progress is being made. But for now, it is time for lunch. I got DoorDash. But I did make better choices in terms of my DoorDash today than I had yesterday, so that's a slight win. I'm just giving myself a pass, honestly. I think that one of the problems with meal prepping is when you just don't feel like the food that you've meal prepped, especially when you're making a larger batch to go over 2 weeks. I was doing Jess a favor so she didn't have to do meal prep last weekend, but then she got sick of her yellow curry, which is a bummer because she actually does like her yellow curry. Like, I enjoy my yellow curry, but I'm just not feeling it this week. I'm actually kind of tempted for my meal prepping for Q4 is to go to more of like a pick and choose snackle plate kind of option. Maybe find a kind of bunch of different bits and pieces that I can prepare and then just pick and choose the ones that I want for any day. Because I love a snackle plate and it is a good way to get, you know, fresh fruit and veg and stuff into the body, but that is not a right now problem. Right now I need to go and get a plate from a DoorDash. Ta-da, Sammy, or Subway. Lunch is done now though, and that one is scheduled for upload, yay. And I have about 30-ish minutes until I was planning on doing my exercise because tonight is date night. So I was going to do my exercise before I went to pick up Vogel to go to date night. So I might just do some email admin or something. Or possibly, honestly, because I keep thinking about Vlogmas, I might just go and have a look at collating my Vlogmas ideas in a system that looks a little neater than what I currently have. Right now it's just like a swamp of ideas that have not been sorted into categories or anything like that. And not only does the idea of that project excite me much more than Inbox Zero, I think it'll also just give me some peace of mind. Yep, started making a list and got distracted by reels and walked into my art card, it seems. It's cool, I'm fine, nobody died. My bottle didn't appreciate it, but it's okay. It's time to go downstairs and do some exercise. I'm obviously over today in terms of work. The walk is done. I pretty much never regret doing a walk. It's just like trying to encourage myself to do it sometimes is a little tricky. For now though, we are getting things together, and by we I mean I, because Vogel is not here. He is at work in the office where he works. So I am getting myself together because I need to go pick him up and then we can go for date night. Most enjoyable date night though. I enjoyed our sushi dinner. I enjoyed the escape room. We did manage to do it in the amount of time we were given, but we did also need a couple of hints. Mainly because there was one puzzle where we're like, I can see that I need these for that thing, but I do not know how I'm supposed to do this because I thought that we were going to break it if we had tried the way that we actually ended up doing the thing. I'm being vague because if anybody goes to the puzzle room, I don't want to spoil it for them. But anyway, the coolest part though was the laser room at the end and having to get through the laser field. Vogel just like kind of couldn't do it and we were kind of running out of time. So I was like, okay, you walk to the other end, I will press the reset button and then I will go through the laser field. But now it is 8:44 and I am going to read some of my book. I'm very much enjoying it, but that was kind of expected because it is my favorite book. And the annotating's going well too. I'm a little worried that I am either going to annotate like too much or too little compared to my friends. So hopefully when we get the next book in the cycle, we'll be able to kind of course correct maybe. But after I do that annotating, I'm going to go to sleep. So I'm going to just say good night. Good morning. Happy Friday. Vogel is in the shower. I am notably in the bed. I'm kind of tempted to get up and do my exercise now because then I don't have to do it later. And I feel like there's a recurring thing where I get tempted to do something that's good for me. And then I let my brain talk me out of it. I'd like to address that. I don't think it's going to be a Q4 goal, but in the long term of life, I would like to address that. At this stage, I'm not too sure what's on the cards for today, outside of newsletter writing, maybe some Inbox Zero work, and also going to the shops to get things for tomorrow. Because tomorrow, Vogel and I are having an epic movie marathon. We're going to be marathoning the How to Train Your Dragon series, because I think I've seen the first one, but I have not seen any of the others. I'm looking forward to it. It should be good. I just need to go and get supplies so that we have snackage to have during our movies. And lunch. Lunch would be a good idea. In fact, maybe I will go out at lunchtime today to get the things so I can get more lunch. Yeah. For now though, I think I am going to get up and do exercise. I feel like it's a good idea to just like lean in to the inclination to do the good habit rather than talk myself out of it. It took a second. I got out of bed. Let's go do a walk. I just realized that I didn't prepare my overnight oats yesterday, so now I don't have breakfast. Or like I can find something else, but I wanted overnight oats. It'll be fine. Walking is done, and in the interest of not forgetting to do my overnight oats again, I'm gonna do them right now. Thankfully, I do actually already have the dry ingredients made up. I just need to add the wet ingredients. Really would have loved if I did that yesterday, but that's okay. We are doing them now. There we go. Those cuties are looking cute. We can put them in so they can chill overnight. For right now, though, we are not going to be having breakfast. We're gonna go grab Vogel because his train has done a whoops, I have no idea, and we're gonna take him to work and he can just deal with the fact that I smell like exercise. Thankfully Claire, she probably smells fine, so hopefully that's okay. Let's go! Just waiting for Vogel to arrive at the pickup location, but I was kind of thinking that one of the things that's really held me accountable to my exercise and, you know, getting my daily exercise in has been that idea of keep the streak alive. I don't know what number we're at the moment, something over 100, but I'm wondering, is there any other habit or routine that I kind of want to build where having that type of mentality would be really useful? I'm not sure if I necessarily want to commit it to, like, you know, no takeout, no DoorDash, something like that, because while that could be beneficial for me, I also feel like I'd probably just kick my rebel brain in because it's taking something away. I'm not too sure, but I'm kind of curious to explore that a little bit further. Not right now. Right now I'm just waiting for Vogel to hurry up and get here. But in general, I'm curious. Notably, originally the plan was to go and get the snackage for tomorrow at lunchtime because I wasn't going to be going out this morning. But I'm already out and I'm already in town, so I figured I might as well go and get the bits and pieces. I don't love being out when I haven't showered. I feel freaking gross. And I also don't like the fact that I don't have my cardigan. It's like my safety blanket. I feel exposed. But that's okay. It's just going to be a quick in and out. We'll get some stuff. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. Shopping has been done and now put away. I am feeling clean, fresh, and ready to tackle the day. Technically, I got to my desk at 10:44 and now it's 11:40 and I haven't really officially started on doing my work. I did write myself a list though, so at least there's that. Going to the supermarket definitely reminded me as to why we write a list before we go, because I spent some money. I'm very excited about the snackage I got, but yeah, it would have probably been better to go in with a plan, but I wasn't really expecting to go first thing in the morning. I was expecting to go at lunchtime. It's cool. First port of call is going to be doing a little inbox tidy. I would say it's an inbox 0. I did technically write inbox 0 down on my task list, but I don't really feel like doing it today. I mean, I never feel like doing it, but in particular today, because the start of my day hasn't gone really as smoothly as I hoped, I figured that trying to sit here and really get everything out of my inbox, probably not the best idea. My energy isn't in it, which means it'll take longer and it'll just suck more. I have 4 items in my personal inbox, 131 in my work inbox, and then 5 items in our home inbox. So at least the personal and the home ones shouldn't take too long. But the work one, I don't think I'm gonna get to an inbox 0 on. The way I'm essentially gonna tackle this though is that I'm just gonna spend the next 20 minutes doing inbox stuff, get through as much as I can, and then I will move on to the newsletter. I find that time boxing like that, just making it like a set amount of time, means that I'm usually more focused on the task at hand and I'll get through more than if I just kind of made it this open-ended, go at your leisurely pace type deal. I've been able to get the home inbox to 0, personal inbox to 3 because they have tasks associated with them, and the work inbox is at 115, so progress. Email is like my least favorite type of communication. I think in part it's because I feel like I have to be a lot more formal via email rather than like a direct message or something where you can just respond really quickly and it doesn't need to be as structured. I don't think emails have to be structured, but I'm kind of set in my ways when it comes to emails being structured. For now though, it's time to do the newsletter. I don't have a topic picked out just yet, but I've got some ideas, so that kind of counts. We might just make it kind of chill this week. Did she order DoorDash again for lunch? Yes, she did, and it is almost here. But the newsletter writing is going well. What's more exciting though is that I just got on a call with somebody and we're talking about the idea of like them maybe helping me tackle my inbox, maybe doing some other kind of admin type stuff, which I am just very much excited for the possibilities of. I have no idea what it's going to look like, but I'm going to write up a list of general admin-esque things that I typically do in the back end and send that through to them, and then we can go from there and chat about where we can help each other out. And when I say help each other out, I mean them helping me, because that is something they have kindly offered to be a part of. Because yeah, getting on top of my inbox was a Q3 goal, was part of this Change Your Life challenge. So if I can kind of put something in motion with that, that'd be pretty sweet. For now though, lunch. Lunch is done, and honestly, I'm just kind of bummed that Vogel is working in the office today because it's so nice outside and it would have been a perfect day to go for an outdoor walk. And it is kind of what I'm writing the newsletter about, which is why I'm thinking about it probably. But the newsletter is almost done. I just need to finish writing the last couple paragraphs, and then we can move on to something else, which I am going to be tackling more of my future me problems, in the sense that the actual challenge that I had for myself is that over the course of the 3 months, I wanted to either finish or scrap all of my future me problems. I do not necessarily foresee them all getting done, but I think that going through and actually committing to scrapping some of them would be a really good, satisfying thing. Like just letting go of some of those projects that, sure, it would be like a nice to do, but realistically, I'm just not going to do them. In particular, the ones that at the time of putting them on the list, they felt important, and now they just don't feel as important. The newsletter is sent, I'm feeling good about it, and now it is time to have a look at the future me problems list. I feel like I'm just going to go through one by one and really just think about whether I actually need to keep this. And or if it's something that I can do in 5 minutes, I'm just going to do it. I think that the majority of that is going to be at the start of the list, so I might work backwards. Mainly because I don't want to get bogged down in the doing when I'm really just trying to prune a list here. So, pen in hand. I didn't even start at the bottom of the list. I'm like, oh, declutter photos. That's definitely not a 5-minute task. It is still something I want to do, but I'm going to do it as part of my digital declutter that was initially intended for this Change Your Life challenge, but I'm going to do that in Q4. That one's already been put down on my intentions list for Q4. So maybe I need a colored pen for things that I am migrating. I don't want to draw the arrow just yet, just in case I decide I'm not going to migrate it and I actually end up doing it next week or something. But it would be good to be able to pull those ones out really easily. I'm just grabbing one of my dot markers. Trying to pick a color that's still in the same color palette of the page that I set up. I already started using brown dots for things that I was going to kind of prioritize doing. So I figured green dots for anything that is going forward, moving away from this list. So decluttering the photos. That one we can put down as a green dot task, which means that I have intentionally put it off. It's not actually done, because if it's getting scrapped, then it's like it's done, right? Yes. Green, not done, not scrapped. A line, scrapped. Crossed out means it's finished. One we have here is tidy the description box template. That's a template that I have on my computer for writing my description boxes, so I don't have to go and find the links to things time and time again. That one I still want to do, so I'll keep that. Make new planning system name. This was to replace the term bullet journaling because I don't really think I bullet journal anymore, or at least the system that I use to plan my stuff is not really all that aligned with the original bullet journal method. I don't know if I necessarily need to name it though. I could just keep doing what I'm doing, just be like, yep, this is my DIY planner. I might scrap that one. We'll see. We have change over project boxes. That one is easy, so we're going to do that now. These over here are my project boxes, so it just involves taking out the pens that I'm no longer using because they were for like previous setups or whatnot, and putting in the materials that I am currently using. So we can cross that one off. The next one is to make a close down routine with Vogel. That's essentially thinking about how we kind of close up shop or close down the kitchen or tidy things up at the end of the day, because we are both the kind of people who very easily fall victim to the idea of, oh, we finished dinner, we'll just have a little sit on the couch and relax before we tidy up. Not a good idea. We never get back to it. I'll leave it for now. Still possibly want to do that. Find a 1-liter water bottle. I'm not sure if I care anymore. It was mainly because this water bottle is 2 liters. It's quite heavy, so filling it up and kind of having to tote it around and stuff, it's a bit more cumbersome. So I thought that having a smaller water bottle would be kind of nice. But the thing with this, if I'm aiming to drink 2 liters, I don't have to fill this one up in the middle of the day, which is a problem that I had with my last water bottle, which was a liter. I'd get to the bottom of it and then be like, oh, well, guess my water's done. I'll just sit here and die of thirst, because I would never get up to fill it up again. I kind of still want one though. One of the tasks I have here is planned Vlogmas. That one has kind of like half started, so I'll give it a half cross. And then we have epic score my goals, which I really should have done at the start of the quarter, but I didn't. I even set myself up a spot to be able to do this for each of my goals and never got around to it. Now as we're getting towards the end of the quarter, it's not really necessary to do anymore, so I'm just going to cross that one off. And I need to make sure I update my sticky note as we go. Up next we have get washi drawer dividers, or dividers for my washi tape drawers. Mainly because my tapes can definitely roll around. These ones are in boxes, those ones are not. You can kind of see the mess that we've got going on there. And then in this one, they are all in a box, but these ones are not. And that means that they can roll around when they're not as tightly packed. And then this one is just completely open, free to roll around, which can be kind of problematic. The thing with drawer dividers is that I want them to be very thin so that they don't take up a lot of additional space horizontally, space that could be used for tape. And I also need them to be shallow enough that they're not going to get in the way of the functionality of the drawer. I might just go and do a little snoop on the internet. Yeah, some of them are plastic, some of them are like little hole things. I don't want, no, do not want. I'm thinking something like that might be kind of okay. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about cutting them up myself. I like the kind of extendable tension type ones, but this feels like it has too many choices to make. Plus that was also just an initial search, so we'll leave that one for now. I probably won't get to it before the end of this challenge, but we will see. Maybe I'll put that on like a future office wish list or something. The next one is reading journal updates. I do still want to do that, but I'm going to make that maybe like my midweek mafia hangout kind of task for the next several weeks. I enjoy having a project to take to those. It means that there's something for me to actively work on rather than just stuffing around and like, yes, hanging out with my friends, but oftentimes we'll get onto a topic of conversation. I'll be like, oh, I'll just check that on my phone. And then I'll fall into a Reels hole. And then I won't even enjoy spending time with my friends because I'm in a Reels hole. The next one is digitize school reports. I'm just going to scrap that. I don't think it's going to happen. And it's like the least appealing task ever. I've got my physical school reports there, so if I ever want to add this back to my list, I can, but it just does not sound like fun, so I'm not going to do it. We then have reorganized shelving. That one is going to get a green dot to be pushed forward because I'm going to probably do that as part of a big office reorganization because I want to reorganize my office. And as part of that, we also have sort YouTube background lighting. That is the lighting on my shelves. That is going to happen as part of a big office revamp type thing too. The next one we have is revamp my closet because in particular with trying to eat better and exercising more and such, my clothes aren't fitting the way that they used to, and some of them are quite baggy and I'd like to possibly change those pieces out. But I would also like to maybe expand my wardrobe a little bit more, given the fact that I have like, what, 2 of this top and then 7 of another top that looks quite similar to it, but the sleeves aren't quite as long. I have 4 of the same pair of leggings and like 3 of the same pair of kind of yoga pants type thing. It would be nice to have some other items in there. That one is getting a green dot though because that is going to be pushed ahead, or more likely than not, it'll get pushed ahead. I'm not going to revamp my entire closet in the next week. The next one we have is finish the thumbnail course. That one I have actually already written as a potential goal for quarter 4, so green dot. And then we have work get ahead project, and that was when I was, funnily enough, trying to get ahead on work. I am still trying to get ahead on work, but I'm not making it an active, intentional project right now. So I'm going to cross that one off and let it go. The next one we have is getting somebody to set up my Shopify, because while I do have a little online store, I set it up myself, which means it's probably not set up the best way it could be. I would like to get somebody who has just a tad more expertise than I do to come in and set that up more officially. This one is probably going to be a push ahead task, and I don't think it's even going to be a quarter 4 task. It's probably going to be a next year me problem. And now I feel like I've used this green pen too much. I'm just going to go through and find some really easy ones that I know I can cross off. We are going to cross off Wise card for travel because I'm just not going to do it. That being said, I then just went onto the website and started looking at it, so maybe I will still get it. Alrighty, that really wasn't that hard. I could have done that like at any point in time. It took all of about 3.5 minutes. The general gist though is that instead of paying transaction fees and such anytime I use my personal debit card overseas, I can use this other card which has much lower fees. I think it'll be better. I've heard good things. I've done some research about it. I'm feeling positive, especially considering next year we have some trips coming up to Korea, Singapore, possibly Japan, that kind of thing. So I figured having it would be quite good. And if I order it now, which I have just done, it should arrive in October, so plenty of time for it to get to me and then be able to be used, all of that kind of thing. So that is another thing I can cross off my list, though I did just draw a line through it, so I'm gonna have to fix that. It's okay, that is what I have sticker paper for. There we go, much better. Another one that I can cross off though is plan musical night. I am not going to do that, but I am going to add musical night to my ideas list for social experiences. This is a list that I have in Notion. It's essentially just giving myself ideas of things that I might want to do with my friends at some point. So I'm just going to add it in here. Nice and easy, and making sure to put a tally on the list. I keep forgetting on whether I've actually done the tally, so I'm like, oh yeah, let's just go and recount everything because now you don't know if you've done the thing. I've done the thing now. We're up to 46 items. One of the ones that's been on here for a while is research how to eliminate systemic friction, which I feel like I need to identify areas of systemic friction that I have first before I research how to eliminate them, because I feel like it would probably be very specific to the type of friction. Like, yes, systemic, but in what area, in what capacity. I'm just gonna get rid of it. I think it's like, it was an interest point at the time, but nowadays I just don't care as much anymore. Adding another tally though, making sure that I do it. 47 items. Taking pause, time for a drink break because my drink's running out, and I think I want something like a little more fancier than my cola in a holder. Not to say I don't like my cola in a holder, but I just feel like something fancy, which essentially just means a glass with ice and a straw. Could also have cola in it. We're gonna use my enemies to lovers cup because it's super cute, and we're gonna have a peach iced tea. And it's got a straw, yay! And back to working on the list. Up next, we have home design Pinterest boards. Those ones aren't hard to set up. I'm just gonna go set the boards up. I'm just not gonna add anything to them. And then whenever I'm feeling, you know, like looking for inspiration, hunting for pictures, I can then already have spaces to drop said pictures. While I'm here, I'm also just gonna archive all of the wedding boards. So the table decoration, the color palettes, the invitations, hair, makeup, all of it. So then I don't have to have it sitting there and just reminding me that my wedding wasn't Pinterest worthy. It's not so much that. It's more so I would just rather not have it cluttering up my Pinterest, or like my Pinterest space. Yeah. Definitely got sucked into a Reels hole, but now the sun's trying to murder me. It's way brighter in person than it is in this footage. Also, just ignore the fact that my window is definitely dirty. It's on the outside. We do get them cleaned, but they get dirty quite quickly afterwards. So the cleaning is like a once a year job. So for one day a year, I have beautiful windows. But I have indeed made the Pinterest boards. There's nothing in them, but they have been made. So the space is designated and I can add inspiration as I collect it. I don't need to add the inspiration right now. I'm also putting a green dot next to newsletter drafting marathon and also moving recipes into Notion because I've already identified those as goals for Q4, so those ones can get moved ahead. And then another task I have here is a physical self-care schedule. By that I mean things like doing like, you know, full body exfoliation or dyeing my hair, that type of thing. Things that I consider to be image care, but they are technically physical self-care tasks. They're just not in the realm of like exercise, nutrition, those kind of things. Less of those kind of like daily habits and more of the once a week, once a month, once a year type things. In terms of making a schedule for that, I think I might make a Notion page with the set frequencies that I want to have, and then as part of reset week each quarter, I could schedule those tasks onto my calendar. That schedule has officially been written. I don't know if it's going to be necessarily accurate to what I end up doing, but it is a reference for me, and that's another thing I can check off the list. We are one item away from 50. Yay! So the next one is make a self-care action reference. That one is easy. I'm just going to set that up in Notion right now because it doesn't necessarily need to be populated, it just needs to exist. And by a self-care actions reference list, whatever, I can't even remember the term I used. Self-care actions list. It's essentially things that I can do, like actions to take for self-care. And I probably want to organize that in terms of different types of self-care. So caring for the physical self, the mental self, the spiritual self, the financial self, all of those kind of things. Alrighty, we have that list written as well. Good reference. I think I'll probably add more things to it as life goes on, but for now, that's looking pretty good. And it brings us to 50 items. Which means I can also check off that 50 future me problems are done. Another one we have on here is change phone plan, and I'm pretty sure my phone plan ran out today, so that is actually perfect timing. I don't want to stay with my current phone provider. That's why this is on the list. So I'm gonna go and see what I can do in terms of other networks. I figured I might actually move back to the network I was on before I changed at the start of the year, because we found a plan that actually gives you receipts. That was one of the big issues, is that on the plan that I was on, every time I wanted a receipt to say, you know, this is how much my phone cost me or whatnot, I would have to contact them via Facebook Messenger to get a receipt sent to me. And half the time I would get someone who says, we can't do that. I'm like, yeah, you can, because if you scroll back up in the chat history, I do this every month. So I got fed up with that, moved to a different provider because it was kind of insinuated that that was going to be easier with them. No, it was not. I don't think I've even gotten like one receipt from them. I gave up on trying. And so now I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll just move back to the one I was on, because at least I was getting the receipts. And also if I go to a different plan, then those should be easier to acquire. Of course, I couldn't find the plan on their website. I already kind of knew that going in, but I thought maybe if I did some back-end searching in Google, yeah, no, it didn't help. That's okay. I have messaged their chat thing, the one on Facebook Messenger, because but anyways, message that. Hopefully they get back to me soon, but for right now it's time to go get Vogel. Even though I feel like I didn't do very many of the tasks on the list today, I am still feeling quite pleased with the progress that I'm making, because a lot of these things, they've been on this list for ages and I've been, you know, fairly committed to actually getting them done, but realistically some of them just aren't gonna happen, and I think it's nice to be able to let those go. That doesn't mean that I won't like re-add them to the list at some point if I kind of in future decide that they are still something I want to do, but for now, letting go feels good. And honestly, it is just a reminder to myself that I probably should go and curate this list more often. Some of these things, they've been here for literal years. I've transferred them from list to list to list. And I think that I was possibly just holding on to the idea of being the kind of person who does those things, as opposed to actually being the kind of person who was going to do those things. Like, there are still a couple of things on there that I know I am going to do at some point. They're just not a priority for right now, and they're going to take more time than I have to give to them. But I'm still very pleased with the ones that I have been able to get done, even if it's only just a very kind of small step in the right direction, like setting up the Pinterest boards rather than populating them. Anywho, need to go pick up Vogel. Both Vogel and dinner have been acquired. We're having some pad thai and some chicken satay skewers with roti. I am very excited because I am peckish.
I have been acquired.
Dinner was very tasty, and now I'm sitting here on the couch scrolling. Do we call it doom scrolling? Because I thought the doom scrolling was when you're just consuming all like the bad juju media of the world that tells you that everything sucks and whatever else, not just mindlessly scrolling. Like, to me, mindless scrolling and doom scrolling are different things. But I kind of feel like the term doom scrolling has also turned into the term we use for just mindlessly scrolling through stuff. Anyway, doesn't matter. I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna go upstairs, and I'm gonna read some book and annotate, because we just got to the second part and I'm so excited. Set up to be all cozy, got my reading ambiance, got my book, been doing my little annotations in there. But now it's time for part 2. First, I probably actually should write in my 5-year journal, because I haven't filled it in for a couple of days and my memory is poor, so I need to write things down. There we go, got today filled in, and yesterday and the day before, so that is up to date. Well, you know, up to date minus the stuff that we have at the front that I haven't filled in, but that is fine. And now it is book time, yay! The book is going very well. We have just gotten to the part where they go into the place to talk to the person who knows the things. See, no spoilers, because if you know, then you know, or maybe I'm being too cryptic and you're just like, but if you don't know, then you don't know, and it's all good. It's 11:05 now though. Vogel's just wrapped up playing his game, so we are going to be going to bed. I just want to finish this chapter, of which I have, I think, a page and a half. So once that's done, it's going to be time to turn off the TV and turn off the lights and go to sleep. So I'm just going to say it now. Good night. Good morning. Happy Saturday. I'm watching Sarah's live stream, just having my breakfast at my desk. Vogel and I are going to go and do a walk together once he's up and once Sarah's stream is done. Very much looking forward to it, because the weather looks a little bit more pleasant today than it did yesterday. See? blue. All done now. Vogel ended up getting in the shower, so I'm just waiting for him to get out of the shower so that we can go for our walk, because it's nice out there and it's gonna be good to be outside, even if a little chilly. The world is waiting for us. If I'm gonna start walking outside again though, I definitely need to get myself a new drink bottle because my current one is too big, so lugging it around while trying to walk around our little circuit, it's a bit of a task. I'm not gonna do that today, but I might try and action that next week. Ta-da! Got my sunny hat, got my sunny glasses, and my jumper because it's cold outside, but it is time to go walking. You excited?
Yeah, we're gonna go to the supermarket.
Yay!
We're gonna get me milk.
Walk is done now. It was a lot of fun. It was just nice to be outside, spend time with Vogel, go on the swing. The swing was kind of a highlight. Now it's time to get showered and clean and lovely so that we can get awesomely cozy and have our snackles and do our movie marathon. Feeling fresh, feeling clean, back in the same hoodie. I need to go put my rig on because I feel weird without it now, which is probably for the best because I am trying to build a habit of actually wearing it. But I need to make sure that I clean up the lounge room a little bit so it is a nice inviting area for us, and then think about preparing the snackle plate. When it came to picking my wedding ring, I kind of picked it so it would match with my engagement ring. So the engagement ring being the one on the bottom and then wedding band or whatnot being the one on the top. I kind of like how it was as if I gave a little tiara to my engagement ring. But as I am the kind of person who doesn't really wear rings, I am just getting used to wearing one. But for now, it is time to get prepped. Well, our movie marathon went very well. I quite enjoyed those films, even though there was one point where somebody distinctly passed and I was like, no, they wouldn't do that in this kind of film. So I didn't believe it. So it didn't have quite the emotional impact that I think it was supposed to have. It's cool. I did also start getting my phone plan changed over. They ran into a snag. They think that they should be able to get it sussed on Monday. So maybe that'll get done before the end of the challenge. Fingers crossed. For now though, we are zonged. I've had a lot of snackage, I'm very full, and I'm very sleepy. So, good night. Good morning, happy Sunday. I am up, ready for the day. It's 7 a.m. I woke up at like 6 something. It's all good. I know the body is just preparing me for when we do the daylight savings changeover. For right now though, I am gonna get some breakfast, gonna make sure my bottle's properly filled up and all that, ready for the day for reals. The kitchen is definitely in a state, so I might do a little bit of tidying up because I think Vogel would appreciate that. Normally, anytime we have an event or a gathering or like something where a lot of dishes are made like this, he's always very good about taking care of it. So I can at least tidy up a bit for him, given that I'm already up. But this morning, in a couple of hours, we do have our team hangout for the team with a capital T. So members in tier 3 get to come along and just like hang out, do journaling time, whatever. We usually just work on whatever projects and just banter and such, which means I do need to pick a project for myself for today, and it'll probably be tackling future me problems or getting myself set up for reset week, because I don't really know when I'm doing the things that I want to do. I know what I want to do, I've already written that down, but in terms of the scheduling of it, I do like to go into reset week with a schedule so that then I make the most of my time. I think I might start with the cleaning up. So officially this is before and this is after. It took me about, I don't know, 25-ish minutes. Is it perfect? No, but Vogel will appreciate it. Something that I'm actually kind of appreciating is that because the body has been waking up naturally earlier than my alarm, I do have the ability to get started on my day earlier and get to my desk feeling cool, calm, and collected for the day ahead with time to spare. Because oftentimes, if I wake up at 7:30, like this is why I've planned 7:30 as my wake up time. If I get out of bed then and there, I have enough time to do my exercise, breakfast, shower, get to my desk with maybe like 10 minutes to spare, because I know that there's going to be some lag between those activities, because technically speaking, based on like time of activities, it should only be half an hour of exercise, 10 minutes for my breakfast or whatever, and 20 minutes of shower. So I should have like half an hour of buffer time, but you know, you have to like transition between activities and all that kind of stuff, so it doesn't usually work out quite that seamless. But by getting up earlier, I give myself more buffer, and that means that everything feels a lot more peaceful. Like I'm sitting here at 8:06, having already showered, having my breakfast. Yes, I haven't done any exercise, but I did tidy up the kitchen, so I'm kind of like substituting that in here right now. In terms of exercise today, Vogel and I are going to go and have another walk outside, because the weather is going to be windy, but it shouldn't be wet. I don't really mind walking in the wind. It's like not the worst thing ever, but I do not like walking when it is raining outside, mainly because my shoes aren't waterproof and I don't like water on my face. It makes me feel bull, like unless it's a shower. That's a little bit more intentional. So I'm kind of thinking that I might try and transition to an earlier wake up time, or possibly just start trying to get out of bed as soon as I feel I am awake, as opposed to letting my body just kind of like lay there and procrastinate on getting started on the day. I just don't really want it to be that the first thing I do in the day is procrastinate. For now though, Vogel and I have made a shopping list, so he's gonna go and get some groceries. I am gonna write in next week's meal plan, and I was kind of planning on not putting in a routine tracker for next week, just because when I set up the pages for reset week, you know, in terms of my weekly dashboard type thing, I was like, no, we just need meals and priorities. We're not gonna track routines. We're feeling kind of down in the dumps a little bit about our routine progress and all of that. But I've kind of gotten to a point now where I feel like I'm ready to recommit to those things, especially in the last couple of weeks, you know, like post-wedding or even in the lead up to the wedding and all of that. My routines have definitely suffered, and I was kind of just giving myself a pass on that. It's all good. She needed some rest. She needed some recuperation. She needed to be less hard on herself. But now, with moving into Q4 and getting excited for the end of the year and all of this kind of stuff, I would like to get a head start on re-establishing routines for myself. I already know that the routines I'll actually be keeping track of next quarter aren't going to be the same. I'm like flipping through this journal trying to find them. No, they won't be in this journal. This journal is running out. This is the journal I'll be using, but the routines in particular that I've set for myself are to be up with the alarm, set my daily highlight, have intentional leisure time, and to track my food. So I'm thinking that for reset week, I'm going to get started on tracking those routines or habits I'm trying to build, but also keeping some of the ones that I had this quarter. Some of them I'm kind of just ready to let go of, like meditation and stretching, which I have not been consistent with at all. Meditation for quite a while, and stretching since I hurt my wrist, I've just been very apprehensive about it, and I'm not making it a priority. And I think I'm okay right now with just letting that go. So I think that for next week, the routines that I will be tracking are 1, up with the alarm, 2, setting the daily highlight, 3 intentional leisure, 4 tracking my food, but then also a couple of the other ones that I had from this quarter. So in particular, I'm thinking the hydration, so getting at least a liter of water, and also respecting the work boundaries. Those ones I might keep on with, and the 8,000 steps. Actually, the first thing I should probably do today is calculate what my average step count is for the challenge thus far, because while I was doing super well at getting 8,000 steps a day, I have slipped on that. For now though, it is time for the team hangout. I'm very jealous of everybody sharing all of their fall related stuff, because I'm just like, I want it to be fall here too. And I'm like, the weather is not necessarily so warm that it couldn't be fall vibes, but it's getting into the kind of like hay fever season here, which kind of ruins the vibe a little bit. I've officially got my meal planned, and now I've given myself a little routine tracker, a little task list space, and migrated some stuff over to where I'm writing down more daily logs. But what I'm also starting to get a little bit antsy about is the fact that my birthday is coming up, and I want to plan something that's fun but not too involved. But I do also like to be just a little bit extra for my birthday. So I think I'm gonna go out for tea with my family the day before my birthday, because my birthday's on a Saturday this year. And then I kind of want to have a birthday that's like Twilight themed, because I'm turning 34, so I want to make it my 34 hua 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 kind of party. If you get that, then like you are my person. But I don't really know how to go about making a Twilight themed birthday party that's only for like 4 people. I'm kind of thinking like an eat the film type thing, so we'd watch Twilight, maybe New Moon as well or something, and then have snackage and food that's like related or tied to the movie. If you've seen the movies and you have ideas, you let me know. But I figured we'd kind of like have our food and drink or whatever that's related to the film, and then also just do like some coloring in with our spooky coloring books and whatnot. Very chill, but I thought it'd be kind of fun. For now though, the team hangout is still happening, so I just want to tackle some more of my future me problems, see if I can get some more checked off before I go for lunch. Taking pause from organizing my Spotify playlists, which I've been meaning to do for many moons, I am on the hunt for a bin lid because the wind has picked it up and absconded with it. So let's go see if we can find it. I'm not very hopeful because Vogel has already looked, but I'd like to try. Vogel has also noted that it is quite windy outside, so maybe not ideal for walking, so we might not do our walk outside. Let's go for a hunt. Huzzah! It was at the neighbor's place. Excellent. Safe. Finding the bin lid wasn't actually one of my future me problems though, so I'm back to doing the Spotify stuff because that'll take care of 2 items on my list. We are now at 58 things either done or scrapped or whatnot. And I kind of think I want to make a list of things that I'm going to actively recommit to. Some of the ones that I have on here, they're not quite right. For instance, one of them is get reusable gift bags, but I think I want to make reusable gift bags. I'm not going to do that today. I'm not going to do that next week. So it's probably not happening this quarter. There's no probably about it. It's not happening this quarter, but I would like it to happen before Christmas because then I can use them for Christmas. I think transferring those over, it's going to be an afternoon me kind of job because right now I'm hungry and I think we should probably go do the groceries because Vogel hasn't done them yet and get some lunch. Shopping done, lunch done, feeling very satiated. I am not going to sit here and scroll reels. I am locking my computer. We are going downstairs to do the meal prep because if I get too comfortable, I will not do it. And I do need to do it. In terms of meal prepping for next week, we are going to be doing overnight oats because it's a winner. It's just good. And for lunches, I'm thinking snackle plate, which doesn't really require a lot of prep. But as part of that, I thought it might be nice to have some oatie muffins. So oatie muffins it is. little muffins are in the oven and I'm just gonna go back upstairs and chill out until they're ready. I think in terms of walking, Bogle and I were gonna go at 5 o'clock. It's currently 3:30, so I've got a bit of time before we need to start thinking about heading out because we're keeping the exercise streak alive. We're on day 119, I think. The muffins are done and my house smells like cinnamon and it's so good. My muffins are definitely a little bit special looking, but that's okay. I'm sure that they will be delicious. What I want to do now though, now as it's 4:15 after I fell into a Reels hole, anyway, I want to make my schedule for reset week so I know when I'm going to be doing what to make sure I can get all of my resetting tasks done. If you haven't joined me for a reset week before, essentially the week is just intended to get me cool, calm and collected for the quarter ahead, making sure that I've reflected on the last quarter, I've got my goals set for the quarter coming up, and I'm kind of like able to put my best foot forward when it comes to that first day of the new quarter. My reset period this time around is going to feature a lot of rest because I feel like before we get into the final quarter, it would be really nice to make sure I'm making that time for myself, especially because some of the goals that I have planned for quarter 4 are going to be quite taxing in terms of energy. I'm still excited about them. I still want to work on them, but I think that being able to enter the new quarter feeling as refreshed as possible would be good for me. I have my list of things that I want to do as part of reset week, so I'm going to go through and just consider when in the week I want to do them, scaffold them out onto a little Excel document for myself. I usually do it in Excel before I go and put it onto my calendar because it just is a little bit easier, but I want to make sure I have enough time for all of these tasks and any work tasks and anything else. And this is where I've gotten to with my plan so far, so I've really kind of tried to concentrate this end of the week as time off, along with meal prep and such on Sunday. So mostly working on Monday, Tuesday, and then a bit on Thursday. That live stream block in there is yellow because it's going to be related to goals. But now it is a little past 5 o'clock and thus time to get ready to go for our walk. Vogel and I also got this foot mask thing. I'm 100% convinced it is going to be disgusting, but I'm also very, very curious to try it. So that's going to be a reset week task for us. Ding! Yay! What are we up to now?
We're gonna watch Stranger Things
Why?
because it's coming out again soon, and it's the best show on Netflix.
It's not bad. But yeah, we want to make sure that we have, I personally want to make sure that I actually know what happened in the previous seasons because I don't remember.
Yeah.
Chips and dip and Stranger Things.
Yeah.
But Vogel and I had some chips and dip. We had a little snackle plate with some strawberries and chocolates and nice yummy bits. And now I'm sufficiently full. I don't need any more snacks. And we're 3 episodes deep into Stranger Things. So making fairly good progress considering we don't have to be caught up until December. I do kind of wish I got a couple more things done today, but I'm feeling pretty good about my progress. I think I'm 2 items off 60% of the way through the future me problems list. That does still mean I have 40% left to tackle, although I already know that some of those are getting put off until next quarter, but still, progress to be proud of. For now though, we are wrapping things up downstairs and we're gonna head off to bed and finish watching that 3rd episode that I was talking about. So now for something completely different. What is this? Why is this hair so short? Yeah, that's good stuff. Hey, come back here. We have made it to episode 3 of New Girl and the week that was, not that. What do we call you?
No, you did interrupt me a lot.
That's because you're talking about something boring. For now. Because now it is time to film, and by that I mean edit. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-rin. I have one daughter. I understand, but is she by the same father? It's too warm. So I'm kind of thinking I might start trying to transition to an earlier workup time. Nope. 2. I've forgotten everything that I just said.
Hello. Hi. Oh, this makes me look like I've got 1,000 chins. That's better. You guys can't see them, right?
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 It feels very good to have so many more of these future me problems checked off my list, even if not necessarily by completing them, but just by recognizing that I'm probably not going to get around to doing them ever, and it's time to let them go. That was one of the ways that I said I was allowed to deal with the future me problems, so they are done, and while there are still some that I'd like to do, I might make tackling those a future me problem. Something I'm very much looking forward to though is that next week is reset week. This is my time to get cool, calm and collected for the quarter ahead, especially because in quarter 4 we're going to be doing Change Your Life 2.0, or the second round. If you want to get involved with the second round of the challenge, we would love to have you with us. Remember, in its simplest form, it's just picking one thing to intentionally work on across the 3-month period. But if you wanted more information about how to get involved and how to join our goal-getting community, then this video is the next one to check out. In that one, we go through the challenge details, how you might want to approach the challenge, the kind of things you could work on, and how to get involved with our community of goal-getters. So click or tap on that one and I'll see you over there.